All right, thanks for staying with us. It is still in the game on New Central TV. I am Udoka Njoku. Now we're taking a trip all the way to Accra, Ghana, where the 13th edition of the African Games is going on. And of course, right there, the medals, talking about the medals table, Egypt are top with a lot of medals, while Nigeria comes second. And in as much as we're having a great tournament so far, looking at the event, and these athletes are winning medals, some sports pundits have gone on social media to look at everything happening right there in Ghana. Even some Ghanaian journalists have been bashing the events proper, looking at how their teams are performing and also the organization of the games so far. So we'll be looking at some of the good things, talking about the organization that has happened from the opening ceremony till date, as we look forward to more events going down, and also the bad sides and the ugly ones as well of the All Africa, rather the 13th edition of the Africa Games. And I've got my guest joining me all the way from Accra, Ghana, Felix Romark. He is a data analyst, data sports analyst and editor of Ghana League Live. Good to have you with us, Felix Romark.
Good. Always good to be here. How is Nigeria?
Well, very well. You know, I love to pinch you a lot when I have you on my show. So get ready for this one now. At the Africa Cup of Nations, Nigeria did way better than Ghana. And there's been this comparison of Nigeria jollof rice and Ghanaian jollof rice, and we know who is winning that battle. Now, let me ask you, and I'm sure you're going to answer sincerely, where is Nigeria and where is Ghana on the medals table at the Africa Games?
Well, currently, the Nigeria somewhere around fourth, Ghana out of the top 10.
Wow.
And it's not surprising. It is not surprising because when you look at the number of disciplines that Nigeria always find themselves in terms of numbers, they have the numbers. In terms of the number of disciplines, Nigeria probably will be competing in almost all the events. So I'm sure by the end of the day, Nigeria will still make more medals, than Ghana because of the sheer number of size and the number of events that they find themselves in. And that is the reason why we have countries from the North African region always getting a lot of medals. If you look at the Egyptians, when it comes to African game history, or previously the All African game history, they've got the highest number of medals because they compete in almost all the disciplines. I've run commentary on some of the games they've had at these games. I did swimming, I did wrestling, and they were very, very good. Actually, wrestling is one of the discipline that Nigerians are very good in. 2 days today, when I was running all the Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians made it into the finals, but couldn't get, the ultimate, which was gold, because of the appearance of the Egyptians and Algerians in that particular discipline. So I'm sure that when it comes to the North Africans, the only countries that can challenge them on that medal table would have to be the South Africans and the Nigerians.
All right, so still talking about the games now, let's look at everything that has happened so far from the opening ceremony till date. What would be your submission? How has the game been so far? Because I know there's been ups and downs over there in Ghana, but for you, what has it been like?
Well, I think that for somebody like me, on a personal level, it is good because it's the first time I'm covering the All African Games. I've had an exposure of meeting athletes I've never met before. I've had the opportunity of working with a production team that is from France who are basically covering the entire game. I think that also as a country, sometimes when you host tournaments like this, it is not just about the financial benefit. You look at what you can do in terms of infrastructure. Ghana didn't have a standard Olympic swimming arena. Now we have one, the Boteman facility, which is hosting most of the indoor games. It's a fantastic facility. I don't think that if it was for the All African Games, Ghanaians would have such a facility. The Legon Sports Stadium, which would host the athletics on the 18th of March, that facility has been there since 2013. If not for this All African Games or the African Games, this facility wouldn't have seen its completion. So the All African Games have been positive in terms of infrastructure. Now we have a new cricket oval and we have an athletics warm-up arena. They've redeveloped the Theodosia Oko hockey pitch, the Accra Sports Stadium. I've seen an improvement in terms of the playing surface. You can see the same for the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. So this games has brought the extra addition of sporting infrastructure into the country. Aside that, there's been a maintenance and remodernization of other sporting facilities as well. So these are the positives that the African Games always seems to bring to host countries that get to host the event. Aside that, the major issue would have to be the maintenance culture, because we've seen Africans who have hosted such events before, and then the state after after the games, the condition of those infrastructures are left to rot. So we are hoping that even after the game, the facilities will still be put in good use and will be maintained. I don't really want to talk about the bad side, but there's been a bit of negativity, especially with the individual association of federations from the Ghana team. We've had issues where cyclists, the Ghanaian cycling champion couldn't finish his race because he had a broken bicycle. He wasn't using the right standard of bicycle for the cycling competition. We've had issues with badminton players being given, footwear that are not their actual size. We've had issues where they've been ferried or they've been transported to games village to go and compete, where they were put at the back of a pickup truck. And these are some of the things that you don't want to really dwell on. There's been an issue where an ambulance didn't have a fuel to follow the cyclists when they were about to start the competition. And then the cycling guys decided, without an ambulance, we are not going to start the race. It was until that they got an ambulance that has fuel in them. So these are the little negatives that you can say surround the competition. But I'm sure that lessons have been learned. There's been a press conference from the Ministry of Youth and Sports by the minister himself, saying that all these things are issues that need to be addressed. But aside that, I think security has been excellent. We haven't heard anything bad. A lot of people who are in the country for the first time are having a feel of it. There's been a games village where definitely you get Senegalese coming with their jollof. The Nigerian jollof has always been around, and then the Ghanaian jollof as well. But so far, I think that it's been excellent, and every of the discipline you could see the competitiveness from the athletes. The opening ceremony on your screen now was one of the best. I was at the stadium. It was excellent, well coordinated and well choreographed. I really love everything about it. So, being a huge fan of boxing and athletics, I can't wait when those events start. But so far, it's been peaceful, it's been calm. Aside those negative stories, I think that it's been a very good tournament or competition so far.
All right. Now, you mentioned something about infrastructure and all that. And just before the games, I heard a couple of people complaining about the budgets, money being spent on these games. But of course, we can also spare them, because these infrastructures need a lot of investment when it comes to the monetary part of it. So, but I just hope that maintenance culture will be good enough to at least maintain these infrastructure, looking forward to other things that will happen, not just footballing events now. Well, we can say these issues can be minute, but to these athletes who want to come out and shed blood for their country just to win a medal, it just might be big for them. Because I saw a video where some wrestlers, not just the Ghanaian wrestlers, now even the opponent, finished rather in a wrestling game, the wrestling event. He didn't even have a towel to clean his sweat. He was being fanned by probably his teammates and all of that. I don't think it's a good sight when it comes to the world watching, because the world is watching Africa. We hosted the Nations Cup, and we saw how the world kept on saying that, look, officiating was good, the VAR was good, football was good in Africa, and some of these players will surely get transferred to bigger clubs when the transfer windows open. But this is not a good sight when it comes to watching sports in Africa. Athletes are finding themselves, athletes not having the right pair of shoes and equipment to go further in a competition. I also saw one of the cases where Ghana's weightlifting gold medalist, Winifred Ntumi, she said the jersey she used is an old jersey that she had to use in competing in the 2023 edition of the Games. And I also saw where the Minister of Youth and Sports came out to deny any of those controversial moments. And I'm wondering, who do we point our fingers at?
Well, I think that both the federations and the Ministry of Youth and Sports should take a blame, because let's be very honest, if you're an athlete that is competing in wrestling, you know very well the importance of having a towel
at an event. I don't think that it will have to take the ministry to get to a common towel to wipe your athletes at the arena. And then also I feel that there was lack of communication between the federation and the ministry, because there were moments where the ministry said they had written to the federations demanding of them what they want for them to participate in the tournament. For Winfred Wuntumi's case, she had all the staffs, but I think that the ministry had actually acquired the jerseys and the equipment for her, but it got in late before she was able to use it to compete. And there's been other athletes as well who have on their own, come out to pay for their own participation, not just from Ghana, but other African countries as well. They've had, challenges with raising funds to come to Ghana to come and compete. And it's something that normally you hear from our part of Africa. I don't think the Southern Africans who have issues with raising funds or coming to compete. I don't think the North Africans, the Egyptians, the Algerians, the Moroccans, I don't think that they'll have issues coming to Ghana to come and compete, because they see the essence of sports and how well sports are managed. If you look at Africa, most of the times when we go out to compete in athletics, in other competition or other sporting event, it is almost countries from the western side of Africa that complain about bonuses, that complain about preparation or not. And I think that it is high time we as journalists who have the voices, who sit behind the microphones or behind TV sets, it is high time we hold those in charge of our sports accountable, that, if you want athletes to bring laurels to their country, you have to make sure that you are helping in their preparation. Don't promise them huge money when they win gold, silver, and bronze, when you are not contributing to their training regime, or you are not contributing to their preparation for a game. So I think that it is high time we start pushing those in authority to do the right things to help the athletes in bringing glory to their country.
All right, and of course, I also heard that the hockey event, which was supposed to hold on the 15th, has now been moved to the 16th because the equipment arrived late. And I wonder how long it will take them to lay the hockey pitch before these players can practice before the games will start. Now, Ghana are number 12 on the medal standing. A lot of the athletes have blamed their losses to the bad preparations. Now, going forward, we still have a few days to the end of the tournament. Are there some other sports that you feel like Ghana can improve upon and at least up their medal ranking and finish in a good position on the table?
Well, if you look at Ghana when it comes to the All African Games, we've done quite well in athletics over the years. Boxing has also brought Ghana a lot of medals in African game history, and then even at the Olympics. So these are the areas where I'm expecting Ghana to get some medals. I think the track and field, the 4x400, current African champions are Ghanaians, led by Benjamin Azamati. So we are expecting to get a medal from there, and then also probably the 200, the 100 meters as well. And then maybe the long jump, high jump should get Ghana medal, and then a lot of medals would have to come from boxing as well. But we shouldn't also forget that at this All-African Games, there are some disciplines that are being used as a demonstration sport. So, for instance, you have chess, you have mixed martial arts. Ghana yesterday won 7 medals at the mixed martial arts, but because it is a demonstrative sport, those medals that have been won won't be added to the main medal table. So a couple of medals will be won, but they won't be added to the main table because they are demonstrative sports. But aside that, I think boxing and athletics should get Ghana some medals.
All right, thank you very much, Felix Romark. And before I let you go, I heard something earlier before I came into the studio that Otoado has been, or rather, is set to be appointed as Ghana's coach heading into the qualifiers. I don't know, do you want to confirm that, or is it false?
Well, those are the rumors. He's clear favorite now. He's been with the team before, but it will be a bit surprising because per the search for the new coach after Chris Hilton left, one of the criteria was that the coach coming in should have a 15 years experience in coaching. But I don't think that Otuado has that. He's never coached a national team before until when Ghana gave him the job in that qualifier for the World Cup against Nigeria. And it will be a bit surprising that they've gone back against their words appointing somebody who is 50 years old. But Ghana have two friendly games against Uganda and Nigeria in Morocco. So we are expecting that the coach will be named before those fixtures later at the end of this month. So let's see how it goes. And I'm sure that we will come back to News Channel to discuss the appointment of a new Ghanaian coach. And hopefully whoever comes in gets a win over Nigeria in that upcoming friendly.
Wow, you've already started the banter. Don't let us get back on social media and continue on that one. But of course, I'd like to thank you, my friend, Felix Romark, for joining the show today.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely day.